Dear students, a warm welcome to Karnataka CET Online Classes 2021. Myself, Srinivas M. Bhatt, lecturer in physics in Government P College, Karwar. Today, I am going to discuss some of the questions on the topic gravitation. The first question is like this. The force between two equal masses is F. If 25% of mass of one object is transferred to the other object, the separation between them is doubled. And the new force between them will be, the options are like this: F by 4, 3F by 4, 15F by 16, 15F by 64. Here it is given in the question, two equal masses. So the masses can be considered in that case as M and M. Initial separation, say let it be R. Then the force of attraction, we can say it is gravitational force of attraction, F equal to G M into M upon square of the distance. This is the gravitation force of attraction between the two masses which are equal and separated by distance R. So this is equal to Gm square upon R square. Let it be equation 1. Now, in the second situation, if the 25% mass of one object is transferred to the other object, what it means? The mass M lost 25%, so it becomes 75% of M. That means it can be taken as 3 by 4 M. At the same time, the other mass, which is 25%, say 125%, which can be written as 5 by 4 M. But in addition to this, there is one more change. The separation between the two masses is doubled. Separation is doubled means that initial separation was R, we have taken. Now the new separation, we have to take it as 2R as it is doubled. The new gravitational force between the two masses, say F dash, equal to G into the masses are 3 by 4 M, okay, into another mass is 5 by 4 M, okay, divided by square of the distance or separation between them. Now it is 2R, so I can write 2R whole square. Now on simplification, this becomes F dash equal to, see the numerator, 3 into 5, 15, then denominator 4 into 4, and 2 square is 4, so it is 4 into 4 into 4, it is 64. And what about the terms G, then M into M square, then it is R square. But we have got Gm square by R square, it is equal to F. Hence, 15 by 64 into Gm square by R square is nothing but F. The new force F dash is 15 by 64 F. The correct option is D. Option D is the right choice. Now I move to the next question. The distance between the centers of the moon and the earth is D. The mass of the earth is 81 times that of moon. At what distance from the earth the body must be placed between the earth and the moon so that the net gravitational force on the body is 0? Here there is a mass which is placed between the earth and the moon, and the separation between the moon and the earth is given that it is D. This is the separation. And one more point is given, mass of earth is 81 times that of moon, and where we have to keep that mass so that the net force, gravitational force on that body becomes 0. See here there are 3 bodies. We are finding the net force on the body and it should be 0. So the magnitude of the gravitational force on the body due to Earth is equal to the gravitational force on the body by the moon. But the directions are opposite. Let me put a small diagram for this. Say this is the Earth, and at certain distance I will take a moon here. Okay, moon. Now the first thing is given distance between them or separation between them. So it is given that it is d. Then consider the mass which is placed at somewhere here, and you know that the gravitational field of Earth is much stronger than that of moon. So the body must be placed almost nearer to the moon, so that it experiences no net gravitational force. Say the mass of that body be say m. Let me take the mass of the moon be m, capital M, and then mass of the Earth me. Me becomes 81 times that of the mass of the moon. So me, mass of Earth, is me equal to 81 m, 81 times the mass of moon. Now the separation, where we have to keep the object at certain distance. The distance we have to find out in this question. So let it be that distance equal to x, the distance equal to x, and then the distance from that mass. Here is the point mass. Say at P it is placed. From that point to the center of the moon, that distance is d minus x. So this is d here, total distance, and the distance of the mass from the Earth is x. So the distance of the particle, that is body, is placed midway from the center of the moon becomes d minus x. So this kind of questions you have solved in electrostatics chapter also. Net electric field becomes zero, net potential becomes zero. It is also a similar question, but it is on the gravitational force. Okay, so now the net force on that body is zero. That means magnitude of the force exerted by Earth and the moon should be equal, and directions must be opposite. That means this body pulled by the Earth this way, pulled by the moon this way, so that it doesn't experience any net force. Now let me write the magnitude of the force on that body by Earth on the left side. That is magnitude of gravitation force G, mass of Earth me. Me I can write directly as 81 m. Then mass of the body, say let it be m, divided by square of the distance, that is x square I have taken as the distance of the body from the Earth, center of the Earth, equal to G into mass of the moon is say m into mass of the body m, divided by square of the distance here, it is d minus x square. Now we have to simplify this. Some of the terms can be cancelled, say g and g cancelled, mass of the body can be cancelled, both the sides, capital M cancel. So what is left out here? 81 into d minus x square equal to x square. This is what we get. Now we have to solve this to get the value of x. So that is taking square root, we can go. That is 9 into d minus okay, so that is cross multiplying, it is 81 into d minus x square. Okay, d minus x whole square, it is d minus x whole square equal to x square. So 9 into d minus x, taking square root on both sides, becomes actually plus or minus x, but I will take plus x. So which gives you 9d minus 9x equal to x. So 9d equal to 10x implies x equal to 90 by 10. Hence the option is correct option is D, where that object placed at a distance 90 minus 90 upon 10, so that distance from the moon will be d by 10. At that point, that body doesn't experience any net force. Okay, then I move to the next question. Here is a diagram. The question is like this: a solid sphere of uniform density and radius r applies a gravitational force of attraction equal to F1 on a particle placed at P. The distance to r from the center O of the sphere. The spherical cavity of radius r by 2 is made as shown in the figure. Here is a white patch, that is the spherical cavity made. The sphere now exerts a force F2 on the same particle F. The ratio F2 by F1 is, now look at the figure here. The center of the sphere is O. Okay, the particle is placed at P at the right side corner, and R is the distance of the particle from the sphere, but from the center it becomes r plus r, because r is the radius of the sphere. Now firstly, the initial force between the entire sphere before taking the cavity. So let us find out the first force on the mass. Here is the mass. Actually the force is mutual. The two bodies exert equal and opposite forces. The force on the particle I say means the force on the sphere is also same, exerted by the particle. But we are dealing here on the particle. So F1 equal to force on the particle, F1 equal to. So gravitational constant G into product of the masses. Mass of the sphere, say M. Capital M, it is not given in the question, so I can take it as M, big sphere, and the particle is small m. And then divided by square of the distance. Distance always taken from the center, that is center of the sphere to the particle position. If you take two big bodies, huge bodies, then we have to take the distance from their centers. So here, from the center of the sphere to the particle P, distance is r plus r, radius r plus outside distance r, so it is 2r. So I can write 2r square. Okay, 2r square. That is equal to G m upon 4r square. This is the, okay, that distance is given in terms of capital R, so I use the symbol capital R only. So r equal capital R, so 4r square. This is the first case. Now what happens? A cavity is made. A cavity is made, that means that portion of the mass is taken out, and the sphere is having some less mass. Mass is less on that. What is the net force in the later case after making a cavity? Now the thing is, initial force F1. What is the force exerted by that portion of the mass present in the cavity on that particle? That much less force will be exerted on the mass. So that is, if I find the mass of that cavity portion, the radius of the cavity portion is r by 2. Radius of the cavity portion is r by 2. So the mass will be, mass is proportional to, say, mass equal to rho into volume, density into volume. So this I can write density rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, for the big sphere, and for the cavity region m dash, if I write rho v dash, that is rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube, where r is not r, it is r by 2. Radius of the cavity is r by 2 cube it is. So this 1 by 2 cube is there, 1 by 2 cube, that becomes 1 by 8. The rest of the things is same as m, so you can write it is m by 8 or 1 by 8 into m. That is the mass of this portion in this cavity. Okay, so this mass. Now the force exerted by that portion of the mass present in the cavity is, if it is present before removing, so that force, let me get it as say f dash. So that is f dash. So f dash equal to G into mass of that cavity portion is m by 8, then into mass of the particle at Pm only, divided by square of the distance. We go systematically here. Distance from the mass in the cavity region is r by 2. Here midpoint of the cavity is say r by 2 to the end of the sphere right side, and outside distance r. So total distance is r plus or r by 2 plus r whole square. Now this I can simplify. It becomes so GMM by 8 into squaring this r by 2 plus r is 3r by 2, squaring 3r by 2 is 9 by 4, 9 by 4 r square. So 4 ones are 4 twos are 4 twos are, then 2 into 9 18. So this becomes 1 by 18 GMM by r square. Now what is the net force in the later case? Because that cavity portion is missing, so the net force in the later case is say F2 is the force F1 minus F dash. So that is equal to, we have to subtract. So first GMM by 4r square is there, later it is 1 by 18 GMM by r square. So the common term I can take outside, that is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 18, and GMM by r square. Now simplifying this, 36 common denominator. Okay, 4 here, 9, 36. So 9 minus, directly you can write here 2 it is. Okay, so this is 9 by 2, 9 minus 2, GMM by r square. Next, it is equal to 9 minus 2 is 7, and to compare with the F1, here LHS is F2. Agree? It is F2. To compare with the F1, I have to write this GMM by r square in terms of F1. So GMM by 4r square is F1. So out of 36, I take here, keep here 9 and 4 I will take along with this r square. So 4r square in the denominator, GMM upon 4r square. But this part 7 by 9, GMM by 4r square is nothing but F1. It is the initial force between the entire mass sphere and the particle. So now F2 we got 7 by 9 F1. Hence the ratio required F2 by F1 is 7:9. Option C is the right choice. Option C is the right choice. So that's about this question. Okay, then I move to the next question. The difference in the value of acceleration due to gravity at a point 5 kilometer below the Earth's surface and 5 kilometer above the Earth's surface is, radius of Earth is 6,400 kilometer, and 4 values of acceleration gravity is given. So in this question, the difference between the acceleration due to gravity is required. The 2 points are, one point is below the Earth at a depth of 5 kilometer. Another point is 5 kilometer above the Earth. So we know the formula, directed as using the formula and substitution. So at a depth, acceleration due to gravity, I will write GD equal to G into 1 minus D by R. This is the acceleration due to gravity at a depth D, and at a height h, small height. This is the important thing you have to note. If the height is very, very small compared to the radius of Earth, then we can take GH at a height h. You can take G dash, you can take GH or G of h. The symbols doesn't matter. Only thing you have to understand what you have written for what. So G into 1 minus 2h by R. Okay. Now, as h is also 5 kilometer, R is also 5 kilometer, and remember D by R and 2D by R. If I take h as D or D equal h, 2D by R. So therefore, this is 2h by R is slightly double. It is double the k by r. So this we are subtracting from 1. So GH is lesser than GD. So now difference is required as per the question. So GD minus GH. Okay, so G is common. G is common. Okay, directly also you can write, or one step I will write D by R. Okay, minus G times 1 minus 2 H I write as D only because it is same 5 kilometer 5 kilometer. Otherwise you have to take the H value H only, D value D only if they are different. Here for cancellation purpose I am writing like this. So it is R, so that steps become lesser. Okay, now what happens, this G and this G cancel, or 1 minus 1 cancel. Then I left with here G outside, and inside it is minus D by R plus minus of minus 2D by R is there. So it is minus or minus is plus. So 2D by R. Okay, now we can write it as G. R is same in the denominator. R numerator is 2D minus D. It is D. So D and H both same. It has 5 kilometer. So now substituting G value, say you can take 10 also, but I will take 9.8 as the number is very small here. 10 power minus 3 is there. Otherwise you can take as 10. So D value is, or H value is 5 kilometer. Okay, I will write 5 kilometer only because I know in the denominator radius is given in kilometer. Otherwise you may need, if you want the value of G, we have to substitute in meter sometimes. Here kilometer straight away cancel. So the answer comes to 9.8 into 5, it is 49. So 49 divided by, I have to divide 49 by 6,400. So I write now 6.4 into 10 power 3 into 10 power 3. Now this I write here 49 by 6.4. So rough calculation, 48 by 6 is nearly 8, but I'm dividing still bigger number, 6.4 it is. So the answer should come less than 8, around 7.7, 7.8 it comes. So 7.7 I write into 10 power minus 3. Okay, and the unit is difference in acceleration due to gravity. It is meter per second square. Hence, the difference in acceleration due to gravity, what is required? So the option is B is the right choice for this question. B is the right choice. Okay, so just to see here, we found the difference in acceleration due to gravity at 2 points. One point is above the surface, another is below the surface. Then the next question is, a body weighs 63 Newton on the surface of Earth. What is the Earth's gravitational force on it at a height equal to half the radius of Earth? So it is a simple question. Weight means it is the gravitational force exerted on the body by the Earth. So mathematically weight W equal to mg. It is given that it is 63 Newton. Okay, now when this body is taken to a height equal to half the radius of Earth, at that height, say the acceleration due to gravity is different. Say I write the weight is W dash equal to mg dash. So that is m into, at a height, the height is not a small height, it is half the radius of Earth. So the formula which I used in the previous, G times 1 minus 2h by r cannot be used here. So that formula here for acceleration due to gravity at a height h, which is comparable with r value. So I can write it as G dash is how much? G dash is r divided by r plus h the whole square, r plus h the whole square. If I simplify now, it is mg can write a substitute as 63, so that it will help you in cancelling. Okay, 63 Newton into now r dash, r by r plus h. H is in this problem, h you can write r by 2 of the radius of Earth. So this is the radius of Earth. We can substitute here. So r plus r by 2 is 3r by 2. R plus r by 2 is 3r by 2. Okay, so squaring numerator is say r divided by 3r by 2 the square. 3r by 2 the square, entire thing square it is. So r and r cancel inside the bracket. So it is 4 by 9 after squaring. 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is 4 by 9. So last one step, 63 into 4 by 9. Can cancel 9, and this is 7 times 7. 4s are 28 Newton. The option is a correct choice. Next question is like this. A ball hanging with a spring stretches the spring by 2 centimeter on the surface. What is the extension of the spring if the system is taken to a height 1000 kilometer, 1600 kilometer above the Earth's surface? Radius of the Earth is given 6400 kilometer. So here also there are two situations. So first situation, there is a ball, okay, which is suspended from a spring, so that it is stretching from its mean position. Say extension produced is x. Why it is stretched? Because of the gravitational force. Say the initial gravitational force in the first case on the Earth's surface. This is on the Earth's surface, and weight is acting downward. And in the meantime, there is a spring force produced in the ball, which is acting upward direction. So F equal to kx. So first case is F equal to kx. That balances W equal to mg. So therefore, we can write kx on the Earth's surface. We can write kx equal to mg. This is the first case. Now, if the ball is taken, the spring setup, ball spring setup is taken to a height 1600 kilometer. So this is the h value, where g value is something different. So the problem is here. So this is the ball at certain height, say 1600 kilometer. Now the extension produced, okay, so is say x dash. The weight at that point, at that height, is w dash. It's a different weight because acceleration due to gravity is different. Mass is same for the ball. Mass will not change, whereas spring constant also will not change. It is also k in the later case. Okay, first case also k. Now the spring force in this case is k into x dash. Spring force is k into x dash. So now we can write the equilibrium condition, that is F dash, spring force F dash equal to W dash, that is kx dash equal to mg dash. Okay. Now this is the second condition. Now how to simplify? We have to get the extension in the later case. X dash is required. So if you are knowing all these facts, directly you can write x is proportional to g, x dash is proportional to g dash. So x dash upon x equal to g dash upon g. Now we have to get the value of x dash. See, at that height, let me do calculation. So at a height 1600 kilometer, it is not a small height. Hence, we have to use the exact formula for acceleration at a height. That is g into r by r plus h. H is 1600 is there. So this formula I have to use. Now the simplification part, just look, g value, say g here, I will take r 6400 divided by r plus h, 1600, 6400, it is 8000. So 8000 is the denominator, entire thing square, that is g into, now cancellation, 6400, 8000 is, this is 5 times, when you divide by 1600, this is 4 times, 4 by 5 square is, it is 16 divided by 25, 16 by 25. This is the value of g dash, the value of g dash on at a height 1600 kilometer. Therefore, I get the ratio g dash by g, ratio g dash by g I want, so it is 16 by 25. Substituting here, it is 16 by 25. 16 by 25. I want the value of x dash. So x dash equal to x into, x is already known, 2 centimeter into 16 by 25. So that is equal to 32 by 25. Now to divide, either you can go for direct division. What you can do, denominator is 25, multiply 4 numerator and denominator. So denominator is 100, denominator is 100, numerator is 3 4s are 120, okay, 2 4s are 8, 128. So the ratio is 1.28. The unit is centimeter. The correct choice is option A. For this question, option A is the correct choice. So it looks something a lengthy question, but if you know some facts, some formulae, quickly you can work out when you do more practice. So now the question is, the escape speed of a body would depend upon its mass m. A body is given whose mass is given capital M. Okay, so the fact is, escape speed of any body which is projected from the Earth's surface or from any planet, does not depend upon the mass of the body, and it does not depend on the angle of projection. But a chance of misleading or confusing thing is that, so the formula, if you go, okay, the fact known, then directly you go for the option C. It is independent means m power 0. Now escape speed, if I write the expression, escape speed v equal to, on any planet or any body, it is 2gr. Okay, it is 2gr, or it can be written in terms of mass as 2gr is gm upon r. Small g is gm upon r square. I can write gm upon r square. So it is gm by r square into r. So it is gm by r. So now here one mass is there, m. What is that mass? That mass is the mass of the planet, not the body projected. But in this problem, they said capital M symbol for the mass. So hence it is the chance of confusion. So then what happens is root m is there. So some may go for the option m power half. M power half may go, but it is wrong, because here m is there. I made it now m dash. It is the mass of the planet from which the body must be projected to escape from its surface. So that m, not the given m. So that's what they confuse with your symbol, and some different symbol other than the standard symbols are given. One must be careful while answering the question. It's a question of just 10 seconds. If you read, you get the answer. But by confusion, if you go for m dash, that is m power half, is absolutely wrong. So now next question is, a missile is launched with a velocity 8 km per second, then the sum of kinetic and potential energy is negative, positive, maybe positive or negative, or 0. 4 options. Now we know one idea already discussed, escape speed. On Earth's surface, it is not mentioned anywhere, means missile is launched from Earth. Escape velocity, we know that escape speed value 11.2 kilometer per second. Okay, so that 11.2 kilometer per second, this velocity or this speed is less than the escape speed. If it is given escape speed, if any body projected has given escape speed, it will reach just infinity, and its kinetic energy becomes 0 at that point. Potential energy also becomes 0. So that is kinetic energy plus potential energy on the Earth is equal to 0 at infinity. 0 is the total energy at infinity. That means if the body projected lesser than the escape velocity, what happens? It is given some kinetic energy, but the magnitude of kinetic energy given to the body, is less than the potential energy. So potential energy is greater for that body in magnitude. Actually it is negative, potential energy is negative. So what happens? Net energy will be, it will not reach infinity, so that it will fall ultimately. 8 km per second means it has to fall to the Earth. So the net or total energy must be negative, because potential energy dominates. If it is given 11.2 km per second, the net energy becomes 0. If kinetic energy given is more than potential energy in magnitude, I'm telling in magnitude, then it will go such that its velocity is not 0 at infinity. It will move with certain velocity at infinity. So the thing is here, the energy is negative because the magnitude of potential energy is greater and it is negative, okay, and compared to kinetic energy. And if kinetic energy, if the velocity of projection is more than escape velocity, the net energy will be positive. If it is given exactly escape speed, then total energy will be 0. Okay, so like this is the question. The next question is a body projected with twice the escape speed on the Earth's surface. The value of Earth's escape speed is given here. Sometimes they don't give radius of Earth, escape speed, g value, all that. That we have to make use standard values. Okay, so now ignoring the presence of other heavenly bodies, the speed of the body at infinity. Now I said previously, I explained the concept. That is, if the body has given more than the escape speed, it will possess some kinetic energy even at infinity. Potential energy at infinity is 0, but it will have certain kinetic energy and it will have certain velocity. So we can apply law of conservation of energy to this problem. So that is, total energy on the Earth's surface is equal to total energy at infinity. And here they gave second part. There are no other heavenly bodies to produce a gravitational field and produce certain potential energy. So that is not possible. Okay. Now, total energy, according to law of conservation of energy, you can say total energy on the surface, that is kinetic energy plus potential energy. So half mv is the velocity of projection I take, but v is double the escape speed. So plus potential energy, but potential energy is gmm by, on the Earth surface it is r only, otherwise r plus h will come at a height h. So gmm by r equal to, the body will have certain energy even at infinity, that is kinetic energy, because it is moving with the velocity vf. So the situation, let me put a small diagram. From the Earth's surface, the body is projected like this. Its velocity v, it goes to infinity, where velocity vf. The mass of Earth is say capital M. The mass of the body projected is small m. The radius of the Earth is say r. Okay. So then velocity of projection v, it is double the escape velocity. Now we can see the factors. Small m throughout the equation can be cancelled. Okay. I want the value of vf, which is there in the RHS. Half is there as a factor in two terms, so we can multiply 2 to make it simple and rewrite this equation. So vf square I write in the LHS because I want the value of vf. So vf square equal to, so it is multiplied by 2 now, so it is v square, 2.5 cancel here also cancels with the vf square, but I have to multiply 2 to the second term gm, so 2 gm upon r, 2 gm upon r. Now vf square I want, so I have to simplify v square, directly we can substitute. One step I'll continue, v square minus, what is this gm? Gm, say, we know that g equal to gm by r square on the surface, acceleration due to gravity in connection with the gravitational constant capital G. And we can use many of the situation, because substituting gravitational constant and mass of that planet or Earth and taking product is a little bit difficult. So instead we can go for gr square equal to gm. So this is on the Earth surface. So, but we can use in place of gm as gr square. Then numerator is gr square upon r. Denominator 1 r is there. Now this r square 1 r and this r can be cancelled. So what I left with final expression vf square, I think I can substitute the values. V double, that is twice the escape speed. Velocity of projection is twice the escape speed. The data given here. Otherwise, you can take 11.2. I said 11.2 into 2, 22.4. So 22.4. But be careful. It is kilometer per second. It is 10 power 3. You don't forget in these cases. Some cases no need to substitute, but here we have to substitute. Okay. So square. Sometimes whenever it comes ratio and all, you can cancel kilometer per second, but not here. So it is 2g, g value 9.8, you can take 10 also, no problem. R square by R remains. Radius of Earth 6400 standard number. I write 6.4 into 10 power 6 it is. 6400 kilometer, when written in a meter per second, it is 6.4 into 10 power 6 meter per second. Now simplification, rough calculation we can do. 22 square is 484. Slightly more than 22.4 means 484. How much it is? Roughly it is 500. 500 into 10 power 6 minus. Now here 2 into 9.8 is around 19 into 6. It is around 20 into 6.4 is there. 6.4. 20 into 6, 120. More than 0.4 more now, so it becomes 125. Approximate or rough calculation into 10 power 6. The difference is 375 into 10 power 6. Now what we have to do? We have to take the square root. That's all. So final step here I write Vf equal to square root of 375 into 10 power 6. So that 375 square root, rough value you must know. So what 19 square is 361 and 20 square 400. So it is between that. So it is something like 19.5 or 19.4, and square root of 10 power 6. It is 3 meter per second. Escape. It is the speed at infinity. Okay. So that is 19.4 kilometer per second. The option A is the right choice for this question. The next question is like this. The escape speed from the surface of Earth is 11.2 kilometer per second. For a planet having radius and mass both twice as that of Earth, the escape speed on the planet will be. Okay, so now this is a very common question, and many times in different exams it appeared this kind of questions, but the mass of the planet may be given in different compared to the here in terms of or in comparison with the mass of Earth they will give usually. Now here first case, escape speed on the Earth 11.2 kilometer per second, that we know. Expression for escape speed on Earth is root of 2gr. But here mass and radius is given, so mass is not there in this term, so I can rewrite this formula as 2gm. Gr square is gm by gm, so gr is gm by r. So now escape speed on that planet, this is on the Earth, so now it is on the planet, right? Okay, this is on the Earth, right here, Earth. Escape speed on Earth, it is well known expression. On the planet we have to get, so first we have to use for escape velocity on that planet, then only we can find out. V dash equal to, so that is root of 2gm. M on that planet mass, it is twice 2m, divided by radius, it is twice that, also radius twice. So now 2 to cancel, what is left out? Root of 2gm by r. So thus we can say it is same as Ve. Therefore the escape speed on that planet is also same as that of Earth. Okay, so then I move to the next question. A body of mass 50 kg initially kept on the Earth's surface. The work done in lifting the body to a height 3 times the radius of Earth is. So here the body initially on the Earth's surface, it has got certain energy. So we are not giving any kinetic energy here in this case. So here work done is nothing but change in potential energy. We are just changing its position from Earth's surface to a height equal to 3r. Height equal to 3r. Okay, one thing we can note down. Now firstly, on the Earth's surface, okay, what is the value of, or what is the expression for potential energy? U1 is minus gmm divided by r plus h. H is 0, so it is just r. Okay, so this is first case. Now at a height equal to 3r, the potential energy P equal to U2. It is how much? Minus gmm. It is only changing with the height. As height becomes more, denominator becomes more, r plus h. So R plus H is 3R here. In this case, height is 3R. So now it becomes minus GMM by 4R. 4R. Now work done by work energy theorem, we can say work done in lifting the object. So here it is change of potential energy involved. So delta U it is. So work done equal to delta U, that is U2. U2 is more, U1 is less. In the sense magnitude of U1 is more, but it is it means more negative it is. Here less negative. Okay, so that's why we are subtracting U1 from U2. So now U2 minus U1, U2 is minus GMM by 4R. Okay, minus U1 is minus, already minus is there. Okay, so minus GMM by R. Now the simplification, minus minus plus in the second term. So GMM by R it is. So GMM by R divided by R. Okay, into what is the part inside? So it is 1 for the second term, and 1 by 4 is there in the second term, but minus it is. So 1 by 4. So 1 minus 1 by 4 is, so I write here calculation part, delta U equal to 3 by 4 into GMM by R value. You have to evaluate GM. Again, I go for substitution, GR square. So it is GR square, GM is GR square. Then mass M, okay, M only. Now substitution, mass is given 50 kg. So substituting the values 3 by 4 into G 9.8 or 10 also you can take. Then R value, it is radius of Earth, standard number usually given. Otherwise you can take 6,400. So we have to substitute here 6.4 into 10 power 6. Given 6,400 kilometer, but you have to take in meter, I said. So square of that. Be careful, don't miss any square or power 6, etc. Mass is 50 kg. When you simplify this, see simplification, 6.4 square it is. Okay, so it is GM is GR square. Simplifying, you get approximately 2,350 into 10 power. 10 power, here it is cancelling, we'll get 10 power 6. Okay, so it is GMM. Okay, 1 R cancels. I missed here. Guess what? 1 R is there, denominator R cancelled, and this R is power 2 not there. Yes. So it comes 50 into 6.4 into 9.8 into 3 by 4. 3 into 10, 30, 36, 180 by 4 is 45. 45 into 50 around 2,500, less than 2,500, and power of 10 is only 10 power 6. R square by R cancelled. Okay, that's what happens when you shift the numbers from one part to another part of the page. Okay, so the answer is 2.35 into 10 power 3. Okay, that much joules. So the option is C, bit tricky, option D and option A. If you do any mistake in power of 10, so you may go for option A also, but the right option is D. Okay, then I move to the next question. The time period of simple pendulum on a freely moving artificial satellite is. So time period we know it is T equal to 2 pi into root of L by G, where L is the length of the pendulum and G is the acceleration due to gravity at that point where it is oscillating. Now, freely moving artificial satellite or a freely falling lift or a space shuttle where the simple pendulum experiences weightlessness and the value of G is taken as 0. So then in that case, when G tends to 0 or G is equal to 0, time period becomes infinity. Time period infinity means the simple pendulum doesn't oscillate. So that means option D is the right choice. Even at the center of Earth also, acceleration due to gravity value is 0 and the simple pendulum doesn't oscillate. That means time period is infinity. Now geostation, next question. A geostationary satellite orbits around the Earth in a circular orbit of radius 4,200 kilometers. The time period of a spy satellite orbiting at a height 1,600 kilometers above the Earth's surface will be approximately. So here are two situations. The orbital radius of geostationary satellite is given 42,000 kilometer. We want the time period of spy satellite, which is orbiting at a height 1600, means the orbital radius becomes sum of 1600 and 6400, that is 8000 kilometer. We have two distance orbital radii, and then geostationary satellite. You must know some of the things like time period is 24 hours. Time period of revolution of geostationary satellite around the Earth, it is 24 hours, and height is around 36,000 kilometer, 35,800 kilometer. Can take roughly 36,000 kilometer for CET sake. Then now we know the formula for time period. Time period is equal to 2 pi into root of time period of oscillation of satellites. It is r cube upon gm. This is the expression you must know. Actually, it is same as Kepler's law. Square of the time period is proportional to cube of the mean distance. But in the reduced syllabus, Kepler's laws have been removed. But for a satellite also, it holds good well. The Kepler's laws are valid for satellites also. T square proportional to a cube. So now I write for two situations for two satellites. So T1 by second case is T2. So T2 by T1, okay, equal to R2 by R1 whole cube. Okay, and square is there. I write power half 3 by 2 here. Now simplification part. Now it is what is R2? R2 orbital radius of second case, that is 1600 r plus h it is r radius of Earth. So this is the situation. Let me put a diagram. So orbital satellite, that is the spy satellite at smaller height, it is revolving usually north south direction, whereas geostationary satellites revolve in the equatorial plane at a height of nearly 36,000 kilometers. So this is the time period for say T1 given 24 hours. We should know that. And for this time period, we have to calculate say T2. And the radii are given R1 orbital radius I'm telling about, R plus H, radius plus height, and radius plus height. So for R2 means it is we are telling about a spy satellite, second case. So spy satellite 1600 plus 6400, it is 8000 kilometer. Okay, let it be 8000 kilometer divided by R1. It is given directly 42,000, no adding and all, directly. Orbital radius only 42,000 kilometer. If they give again a geostationary satellite height, then you add radius 6400. Now power 3 by 2. Okay, power 3 by 2. Now cancelling zeros. Okay, 8 by 42, approximately 1 by 5. Approximately 1 by 5, power 3 by 2. Power 3 by 2. So now how to simplify? See, x power 3 by 2 can be written x power 1, x power half, x power half. That is equal to x root x, x root x. So the same idea I use here. So I write this T2 by T1, T2 by T1 equal to this much. So then it becomes 1 by 5 root 5. Okay, the RH is 1 by 5 root 5. Now, last part is that T2 equal to time period of the spy satellite, T2 equal to, it is equal to x into, sorry, T1 into 1 by root 5. T1 is 24 hours, as we know that. So divided by 5 root 5. Now again simplification, 24 by 5 is 5. But approximately 4.8, it is 5. 5 by root 5 is nearly, you can take root 5. Root 5 is nearly, right, it is T2 equal to 24 into 1 by 5 root 5. Nearly it is root 5. Root 5 is approximately 2 only, little more than 2. So the nearest answer among the possible options, it is only option C possible. Say first and option, second option simply cancelled or eliminated, because you see the lowest height satellites, the time period very close to the surface also, the time period is around 84-85 minutes. So this 1 hour and half an hour, so they are both less than 84. minutes. So first and second option not possible. So at a height 1600 kilometer, it is 2 hours. Then next question is like this: the value of escape velocity on a certain planet is 2 kilometer per second. The value of orbital speed for the planet orbiting close to the surface. This is important point here. Close to the surface. So initially I write escape velocity expression. It is on some planet. V equal to root of 2gr. Now G is not 9.8. Remember, it is given 2 kilometer per second is the escape velocity. So it is not Earth. It is on Earth. It is 11.2 kilometer per second. So G value, by chance you have to substitute in some other formula. That G value should be taken the acceleration to the gravity of that planet, not Earth 9.8, and R also radius of that planet you have to take. And now orbital velocity on that planet for the satellite, say it is root of gr when it is the orbital okay, height is very close or height is negligible, the satellite is revolving very close to the planet surface of the planet, then you can take the root gr. Now what we need actually, we need the value of orbital speed. Root 2gr is 2 kilometer. Now we can divide. So VO by VE, orbital speed by escape speed. So root gr and numerator is root gr and denominator now VE. Okay. Root gr divided by root of 2gr. Now cancel. So 1 by root 2 remains. 1 by root 2. Okay. So now last VO, orbital velocity on that planet, is VE. VE is given 2 kilometer per second divided by root 2. So that is nearly, or it is equal to, because option root 2 only given, root 2 kilometer per second. So the option is C is the correct choice. If the decimal numbers they may give sometimes, it is given 1.4 kilometer per second, that can be chosen, or 1.41 also can be given. The next question: if two satellites of different masses are revolving in the same orbit, they have same. So this some concepts you must remember to answer this kind of questions. So two planets or two satellites are they revolving around the Earth, say in the same orbit. Same orbit means height is same. So when height is same, speed is same. Speed and height depend on speed and time period depend on the height at which the satellites are revolving. For any satellite at a given height or in the same orbit, the velocity is same for all satellites, whatever the masses. It does not depend on mass. Orbital velocity or orbital speed does not depend on the mass of the satellite which is revolving around. It depends on mass of the planet, but not mass of the satellite. So here are different masses. Two satellites you have to compare. Okay, masses are different. So speeds are same for both the satellites. Time period also same. Okay, but angular momentum depends on mass. So different masses. So angular momentum will be different for different planets. So this is gone, means kinetic energy also depends on mass, we know. So this is also gone. Kinetic energy not possible. So B option need not go because kinetic energy is there. Okay, so option C is correct because time period and speed both are independent of masses of the two bodies. Okay, speed even though it is same, but kinetic energy again is not same for the two masses. So therefore the option is C. Then the next question: a satellite in a circular orbit very close to the surface of a planet of density rho. The time period of the satellite around the planet will be. So here to answer this, either it is a memory level question, option 1 A is right. Otherwise you want to solve me, say time period T equal to 2.2 it is r cube by gm. Now for the satellite which is very close to the Earth, that is given satellite is very close to the planet of density rho. So therefore r is equal to capital R because h is 0 when it is given very close. H can be taken 0. Then what happens? Time period T equal to 2 pi into R cube. Now one more substitution, because see the options. We need the answer in terms of density. G value required, density required in the final expression. That means you have to convert this mass term. So already I used mass equal to density into volume. Density into volume is 4 by 3 pi R cube for sphere. Okay, for the planet. So 4 by 3 pi R cube. Now substituting that part here in this. So it is R cube. Okay. So G into rho 4 by 3. Okay, 4 by 3. Then pi R cube. So entire everything inside the square root. Okay, simple. Now R cube cancels, and this 3 goes to numerator. The next step I write here this side. So it is 2 pi I can take inside the square root, because no options have 2 pi outside. So finally 2 pi inside it is 4 pi square, and the 3 comes to the numerator from denominator. Okay, denominator of denominator 3. Okay, so then rho is there. Okay, G rho into 4 pi. This much is there in the denominator. Now simplification of this is equal to, now you see, pi and 1 pi cancel. So pi remains, 4 and 4 cancel. Then 3 pi remains in the numerator, divided by, it is G rho. Pi cancelled anyway. So G rho or rho G. Option is A. Option A is the right choice. Option A is the right answer for this question. Okay, then I go to the next question. An artificial satellite moving in circular orbit around the Earth has a total energy equal to E naught. Total energy equal to E naught. The potential energy is K E naught, the value of K. So you must know some basic relations between kinetic energy, potential energy, and total energy. So potential energy U is minus 2 times kinetic energy, and here we need to compare with the this one, total energy. So I take it as 2 times total energy E naught. Okay, 2 times total energy E naught. Hence the answer is option A. The relation is like this: U equal to 2 times total energy. Say E is the total energy. Then one more relation: U equal to minus 2 K, where K is the kinetic energy, and kinetic energy and total energy are related. Their magnitudes are equal, but kinetic energy negative. So if we take negative sign for the kinetic energy, it is the total energy of any satellite revolving. So this 3 relations are useful in okay, so these 3 relations are required to solve this kind of questions. These are memory level questions, which doesn't require much time. Okay, the next question is, which of the following decreases when the orbiting radius of the orbiting body decreases? That means the body is taken near to the Earth. From certain more height, it is brought to lesser height. That means kinetic energy, yes, obviously it increases, but here it is question decreases by decreasing the height. So it is when H or R decreases, kinetic energy, when it comes nearer, closer, the kinetic energy increases. Kinetic energy increases. Whereas potential energy, when R decreases, potential energy decreases. Decrease in the sense it becomes more negative. More negative. At infinity, potential energy is 0. So it is increasing in a number. In the way it is 0 at infinity, but more negative at closer to the Earth's surface. Then total energy, again total energy E if I take, so that is also decreases. Whereas speed, when the object brought closer to the planet or Earth, speed V is there, no, that will increase. Speed will increase. It will become faster. Revolution become faster, means time period decreases. You must know this. When the radius of revolving satellite decreases, means it is brought closer, the velocity increases, it becomes faster, means that it will take less time because of 2 reasons. One is a smaller radius, smaller circumference it has to cover, and lesser height. Okay, and more speed also. So option here, potential energy and total mechanical energy decreases, both will decrease. So the option B, C is there now. So option B is the correct choice, where both the conditions B and C decrease. Next question is, two identical stars A and B, each of mass m, form a binary star. They revolve in circular orbits about their center of mass under the mutual gravitational force. Radius of the orbit of A is r. Orbital speed of the B is. So how to go for this question? So there are two stars. Their masses are, say, m and m. Okay, m and m. Two stars are there, A and B, with masses m and m. So orbital radius of one is given, say r. Other also same, because both are identical. And now, what provides or what makes the stars revolve in circular orbits is the mutual gravitation force, as mentioned in the question. Now, the necessary centripetal force required for circular motion is provided by the gravitational force of attraction between the two stars. Masses are same. It is 2r is the distance or separation between the two binary stars. So the centripetal force required for circular motion, mv square by r, equal to the gravitation force g into product of the masses m into m, okay, divided by square of the distance 2r square. You have to take here 2r square. Cancelling some of the terms, m and m. Say left hand side is centripetal force one star or one star, both will be same. That is provided by the gravitational force of attraction. So denominator, left hand side, orbital radius for the star. Okay, whereas the right side, it is distance between the two stars. That's why it is r here and 2r in the RHS. Now v square required. First we have to get v square, and mm cancel. It remains gm upon 2r square. It is 4r square. 1r cancel, so it is 4r. So this implies the orbital velocity, taking square root on both sides, it is gm upon 2r, gm upon 4r only, because options it is not taken outside, so it is 4r only inside the square root. So the option is C. Correct choice for this question is option C. The next question. So that's the end of today's session. I've discussed most of the concepts, not too many problems. Most of the problems were lengthy also. So you don't be panic when you see some questions are lengthy. You can try those small questions in the first round, and try in the second round a little bit lengthy and difficult questions, and two difficult and hard questions you keep in the last round. So when you read and work as many as problems in the exam, say 40-45 questions you read and work out, you will be in better position instead of wasting time for long and difficult questions. You can try difficult and long questions in the last round. So thank you. Wish you all the best.